Thank you for listening to the Young Nails Biz Talk. This is part 2 of our Young Nails horror stories. So if you haven't heard part 1, go back and listen to it first. And of course, enjoy the podcast.
So, bro, I remember like you used to do the hustle where like I'd be like, I need cash. You would go to schools.
Yeah, I used to go out to East LA, bro.
Yeah.
East LA Occupational from Morongo Street next to USC Medical Center.
Yep. You would bring cash. I would pay bills.
Correct.
And then, so that was our hustle. We were always starving for cash. And then we had a trade show, LA Convention Center. I think it was the ISSE show.
It was yeah, exactly. Before they moved to Long Beach.
Yes, before Long Beach. And mainly we would take cash. And I mean, we would do credit cards, but
we didn't have a credit card machine. We would have to run it on the
carbon copy
slider, bro, and then take checks, which, I mean, 20 or 30% would bounce.
Bro, they would bounce. And I even the credit cards, some of them
were bunk,
bro.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, it'd make the numbers.
Old school, bro.
So old school, bro. And we would take it. They'd have to sign it. We give them their copy. And so I remember after that show, we had like $6-7K in cash. And I put it in my desk inside of my room, put it away. Went away for the weekend. I went to Vegas, came back Sunday morning, walked into the room. It was like, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 a.m. I walked in the room, bro, and my whole room was completely different. I'm like, what the F? Dude, my desk was gone. The 6,000-7,000 gone, bro. Dude, I freaked out, bro. I ran into mom and dad's room, woke them up. Where's my desk? And mom's like, oh, I cleaned your room for you.
She donated to the church.
Bro. Get in my truck, old Chevy Stepside that I had, my first car, blast over to the church, banging on the rectory. I think it was the rectory.
It was the rectory.
Yeah, banging on the rectory where the priest.
That's funny you remember that name.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. This priest comes, this Catholic priest, and you know he's like, what the hell are you doing? I was like telling him, listen, I have important documents. My mom donated a desk, and he's like, we don't keep that here. That's donated to the Goodwill in Orange, the city of Orange. So, dude, I get in the truck, blast over there. I go up, it's closed. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. It was the worst feeling in the world, bro.
Sick to your stomach.
Sick to my stomach, because that money was our lifeline, right? It was everything that we needed. So I'm banging on the door. This woman, she's like, we're closed. And I'm like, please open up. She opens the door. I said, listen, my mom donated a desk to the church. They told me to come here. It's got important documents. She's like, we open at 10. You know, I'm like, listen, I need it. It's like for a passport. You don't understand.
Leaving the country.
Yeah. I made up some story, you know. It's going to be like, dude, I demand my desk with 7,000 cash in it. Take me now, dude.
You'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no desk here.
She's like, no desk here. Get out. And she goes back. So she was like, okay, come with me. She just tells me, she goes, look, it might take you a while, you know? So she opens the back, bro. And it is rows and rows of like garbage and trash, and there's like little aisles. They just stacked all this junk.
It's a warehouse.
It's not a warehouse. It's like open, like a junkyard almost in the back, fenced off.
Good luck.
That's what she said. She's like, you know, I wish you luck. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. So I was like, I got to start. I'm gonna start at the top. Start in the aisle, bro. I'm walking down. I'm looking left. I'm like looking, and then I start to see they're piling all the desks together. And look, dude, I see desks and I'm like, oh shit, man. I hope to God it's not like stacked up there. Like, because they have them on top of each other, you know? Dude, I walk, boom, my desk. I see it on the floor. Dude, I look around, I go. So that bottom drawer, it had like a little secret drawer in the back. It was like a shelf.
I remember.
Yeah, you have to pull it, and you pull it one more all the way open.
Unhinge it to get it off.
Yeah, exactly. And then a little compartment is there. Boom, boom, boom. I see it. Poof, dude, I see the cash, bro. I grab it, shove it in my jacket, zip my jacket up. Suddenly some dude's like, hey, excuse me. You know, and I'm like, thank you. I start walking off. He's like, what are you doing? I said, no, I had to get documents. Talk to the lady at the front. She told me I can get it. I thank you so much. Get back over here. Dude, I was like, bro, in my mind, finger to you, you're going to have to tackle me and rip this out of me. This is our life. Got in the car. I remember I got home. Dude,
I remember when you got home, dude. You're like,
I
found it.
I was like, I got money. Dude, I just remember Dad. He's like smoking cigarettes, bro. He was so nervous, and I'm like, Mom, don't ever go in my room ever again, And then I just passed out, bro. I was so fried.
Another story. Yeah, I know. I mean, bro, there's many more.
No, go for it. Give me one. You have another one?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
No. Well, I mean, right off the top of my head, so I used to have to travel and do schools. So Mom had sent me to Florida to work Miami up all the way to Fort Lauderdale.
Okay,
so,
just hit schools all the way up in a car.
So what I used to do is set appointments and then basically hit all those schools. And the day that I got there, I remember a storm had hit. This is crazy. I had never experienced Florida weather. It rained like 17 inches that night. I woke up in the morning and I looked out my hotel and every road that was surrounding the hotel was underwater.
Oh my God.
Everything was underwater. The only road that was the highway that I was able to get on to basically do my route.
Oh,
which was
God,
crazy. It was just that part of Miami, bro, that was just flooded beyond belief. It was just one of those rainstorms that came in that just, for those of you guys that live in Florida, I'm sure you understand. But so I remember like 5 days of hitting school after school to school. And so back then, I would have to ship all my merchandise to a local shipping,
like freight forwarder.
Freight forwarder, like roadway. So then I would drive to roadway with the rental car. All the kits would be palletized. I would have to break the pallets down and shove, like I had at that time probably like 50 kits, so I can try to, and I try to sell them at like $100 a piece, try to get like $5,000 and then come home. Anyways, I was able to, it's funny because when you're doing school after school after school, some schools you walk in, and I didn't know how to do nails at the time. It's like, hi, I'm Gregory Salo. I'm here from Hollywood Nails International. We weren't even Young Nails at the time.
Yeah.
And we manufacture kits for schools. For those of you guys that are interested in a kit you're going to be able to do, like, I remember you're going to be able to do 500 sets of nails. I made up a number, bro. It's like 4 powders, silk wrap, fiberglass, 500 box of tips, nail art kit. Like, you open up this plastic tissue and it had everything inside.
Nice, yeah.
So, you get some schools, you sell one, and then you get some schools, I'd sell like 10 kits, just depended, and if all 10 people bought, then I'd give them a discount. Anyways,
you just walk in cold, or you had appointments? Did you?
I had appointments set up, and then I would have to do my presentation at Theory. So it was usually 9 a.m. So 9 a.m. is Theory, and they usually have guest presentations that come in, like presenters from.
And were
schools.
The students buying the kits?
Yeah,
or,
so
they were
either cosmetology students, so they were students in manicuring school.
Got it.
There were some schools that I'd sell, and again, I didn't know anything about nails. It was just like, you got this really cool kit. You could do like 500 sets of nails.
$50?
Yeah, it was like,
or $100.
So it depended on how many, what school and how many I would sell. Anyway, so like, sold kits. And then when I was leaving, I remember getting back to Miami, and so this is great. I didn't have a credit card. Right.
Okay.
So Mom had booked everything on. She had prepaid everything. No, actually I did. So I had enough credit on the credit card to hold the hotel room I was staying. But when I came back, I was supposed to leave that day. I think I had missed my flight, and I had to stay but I couldn't afford to stay at a nice hotel. So I had to stay. It was like, I found a place that was like
motel, like a motel. Like a local
motel in the roughest part of town. I think it was like $50 or $60 a night. And I remember getting into the room because the flight was leaving the next morning.
Did you still have Nelson? Or
I didn't have anything, but I had all that.
You had cash.
I had cash on me.
Oh my God, bro.
So I ended up. I remember locking all the doors, and dude, like 12 o'clock at night, boom, 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 boom. Someone's rapping on the door.
On your door,
dude, and I'm like, who the fuck is this at like midnight, dude? And so I cracked the door open. The guy asked for some dude. I'm like, no, dude, no one here by that name. I just closed the door immediately. Oh, sorry, man, wrong room. Like,
oh my God, bro. And you had all that cash.
It was, dude, there was no choice, right? Like, I had to stay just to get some sleep.
Yeah.
In a just kind of a, you
didn't have a choice.
Yeah, and just this random motel on the side of the road, near the hotel or near the airport. Anyways, come back home. Same exact thing. It was just that grind of going out,
bro.
doing schools,
Yep.
coming back with cash, paying bills. It was a merry-go-round. It just like there was.
That was the hustle. That was the.
I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, bro.
Constantly.
It was just that vicious cycle, right?
And accumulating debt. We just kept accumulating debt too, all the time, and it was just horrible, bro. It was horrible.
I mean, that was one. I mean, all the trips when I went to go visited schools, there was a school in Oregon called Fagan's Beauty College.
Okay.
And again, I had a book. It was called the Association of Accredited Cosmetology Schools, AACS. So it was kind of like this Bible of like information, where it was all the schools and the school owners.
Got it.
It was the perfect book where I could just literally call and say, "Hey, this is Gregory Salo from Hollywood Nails. Can I speak to somebody in purchasing?" I remember, so they'd get me to somebody and I'd say, "Hey, this is Gregory Salo. We manufacture custom kits for cosmetology schools. I would love to either send you a sample, or if you could fax me over your current kit list, I could take a look at it and put a competitive bid on something for the future." Sometimes some people would tell me to F off, bro, or okay, yeah, we're interested, send me what you have, so I'd send stuff out in consignment. So anyways, I got this, we love your kit from Fagans. I don't even know if they're there anymore, but they were based in Portland, Oregon at the time. So I convinced Mom that I was going to get in the car and drive to Portland from here. So, I mean, dude, I was 21.
Yeah.
22. So this was a perfect opportunity for me and my best friend to load the car with our skis and our mountain bikes. I had a Toyota Corolla at the time.
Yeah,
so we put the skis inside in that Toyota Corolla, and then I had a cheap bike rack where we mounted the bikes. Then, I had a few kits, in my suit. And we made our way, we made our way all the way up the coast into Humboldt County.
Party
time in Humboldt, dude. Then we went through Redwood Forest, bro. Ended up meeting with his buddy. Dude, what's crazy? I don't know, for those of you guys who've never been to California, when you get up to San Francisco, from San Francisco to the Oregon border is another 8-hour drive.
Yeah, it's a trek, man.
So
it's the whole top part of California.
So, like, again, from Los Angeles to San Francisco can take you 6 to 7 hours.
Yep.
And then from San Francisco to the Oregon border is like another 8 hours. 8 hours. So 14 total just to get to the top of California. That's how big it is. So ended up going all the way up to the top. And then ended up making it into Oregon. I did the presentation, and I got we'll see. I basically did the presentation in front of the school owners, thinking because they told me they love the kit, so I ended up basically driving all the way to Portland to do a presentation in front of the purchasing department for them to tell me,
we'll see.
We'll see. We're not totally sure that we're gonna take this on, but we appreciate you coming out and meeting with us. So,
Did they eventually order or no?
No, they didn't.
No.
It was a bunk trip.
Oh.
But so we ended up skiing Mount Bachelor. I ended up going to Mount Bachelor, getting a day of skiing. On the way back, stopped at Point Reyes. Ended up mountain biking all the way out to the coast. And I remember, bro, like we got into this ended up mountain biking all the way out to a point where it was basically like private property.
Okay.
And the whole entire field was all cows. And so we got off our bikes, and dude, as we're walking through this field, imagine 1,000 cows all looking at you.
Oh my God. You're all, dude, I got a maybe from Fagan's. I got 1,000 cows looking at me.
So, as we're walking, because we have to get to the trail, and then we took this, I'm sure we're not even supposed to be mountain biking in this area, bro. Sure. But at 21 years old, just doing some adventuring, we were able to make it all the way down to the coast, and then we ended up coming back. Yeah, dude, just doing crazy things, dude. I remember that trip, convincing mom that I had to drive all the way to Portland, Oregon to do a presentation for this school. I did the same thing, dude. Columbine Beauty Academy.
Really?
The famous Columbine.
Yeah.
Colorado, where that giant tragedy happened.
Yeah, of course.
Years ago.
Did you drive out there?
Did the same exact thing. Loaded the car with our skis and a snowboard, and I drove all the way out to Columbine, dude, from Orange County.
Oh my God, bro.
To meet with the school, and I actually got the order.
You got the account.
I did get the account. So I was able to provide them with, they would order 10 kits a month. So I think I was able to.
That's a good account.
Supply the school. Yeah, but it was $1,000. And at the time, dude, getting $1,000 order from a school
huge, bro.
was absolutely monster. Yeah, but back in the day, there was no there was no way for anyone to physically see the product unless you would send it to them or you would show up in person and say, "Hey, this is what I have."
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the time of I remember when we met. He was telling me he was the number one fax bro salesman.
Bro,
fax machines. Some of you guys are probably like,
what is that?
What is, dude, seriously. It was just a time where communication was done on a phone.
Yep. Everything was on the phone.
Right. Or a fax machine. There was no email yet.
Nope. Yeah. Exactly. It was just starting in the 90s, I would have to go to my college library to log into you'd have to have university account and email to have an email, and then Hotmail came and some other ones. But
yeah, I mean, when you got email, I think it was probably early 90s.
It was the 90s. Yeah, it was in the 90s, bro. When I was in college, I remember that. One of the gnarly memories that I remember, you guys refinanced your car through Chicago. Yep. I remember that, refinancing a car, bro. And then we were paying interest on this loan. It was out of Chicago.
It was that Ford Ranger.
It was that Ford Ranger, bro. That exactly. And then I remember I had your credit card bill. You had 2. Mom had 3 credit card bills that were all maxed out, and we couldn't pay them.
No.
Right? We couldn't afford to pay them, and I remember I was like, I gotta call this is when I learned, I got educated on negotiating, that you can actually negotiate with credit card companies. I had no idea that you could do this, but I called them and I was like, hey, look, this is our situation.
Correct.
I have all the intention. We want to pay all this back.
Yep.
Can you give us a little bit of grace period, or
they
can you work?
Said no in the beginning.
Dude, they're like, nope. Dude, I remember one dude on the phone, I got so frustrated, Greg. I was like, you know what? You're not getting paid.
Yep.
You don't want to help me? Fine. How about you get 0? Destroy our credits. We don't care. It's already destroyed. I was so dude, only then he was like, okay, hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to figure this out. And only then and so I was like, oh, you have to actually threaten that you're not going to pay them anything, and that you don't care about your credit, and you don't care about anything at all, because that's where we were. That's when they were like, we'll work with you. You know, and they put us on like a 3, 4, or 5 year plan. I forgot what it was, but it was like minimal payments, but the majority of it went to principal. Cause dude, our interest rates were so high. We could never catch up.
I had a credit score of 570.
Yeah. Dude, you and mom both were in the 500s, bro.
Dude, that is like, you're not getting anything.
Nothing.
I couldn't even get I remember applying for a credit card. I couldn't get a $200 limit on a card.
Nothing, bro. Dude, even when you try to pay cash, they're like, we don't trust your cash. They're like, no, we know your credit score, bro. You can't even pay us cash.
Oh,
dude,
man, that was frustrating.
And then that's one thing I remember. And then one of the vendors, I remember we owed a lot of vendors a lot of money, and I would cut monthly checks to help pay off. I remember this. It was $800 a month that we would pay to this glue for the 2 gram glue. We owed them so much money for all that glue. It's 2 gram glue.
So,
they come in those boxes, bro.
Back in the day, 2 gram bullet glues were a hot commodity.
Hot commodity, yeah.
And we had a vendor that we could buy this glue at, and it was a hot commodity, and we were getting it at a price that nobody can touch. Like, you know, you're buying thousands of dollars of merchandise, you know, for a few $100s return in profit.
Correct.
I mean, the amount of gas I had to drive all the way out to Torrance to pick it up.
That's right. I remember.
And I was spending more in gas than we were making in profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we thought it was like, dude, we're turning over cash flow, bro.
Dude, but
spinning your wheels.
I remember something happened where one of our accounts just stopped, and we were stuck with like, I don't know, 50, 60 boxes of this glue, something like that. Yeah. And the thing with glue is you can't hold on to it for too long or it goes bad. And we owed them, bro. It was like 20 grand. I remember like our bill came, and it was just like, look, all I could do is we can pay $800 a month and we will pay it off. And dude, I remember I wrote that last check, dude. The last thing. But it's not their bad. It was our bad, you know?
Sure.
But that last check, 800, was like, done, paid off, bro. All those freaking bills, dude. Credit cards, vendors, suppliers. And we eventually, even the loans from like, you know, dad's cousin. I remember the last check.
I mean, that money we lost, I'm sure you guys remember. I mean, the money that we lost in Las Vegas, my mom borrowed all this money from the markers that she had in Vegas. And we ended up eventually losing all that cash.
Yep.
And the DA of Las Vegas at the time came after my mom and basically said, look, we're gonna put a lien on your home. We're gonna foreclose on your house. Or you're gonna figure out a way to pay this back. So my mom,
they even threatened, like, we're gonna take you to jail.
Oh no, there was like, that's the thing. You don't mess with the casinos, dude.
Mm-mm.
It's like it's big time. So mom struck a deal with them, and it was like, put on a payment plan, and it was like, you know, you pay us close to $1,000 a month until the debt's paid off.
That's
and
what
then,
it was.
And you can't miss a payment. You miss a payment, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But there was this story, and then, you know, good old, you know, from remember that whole situation too. We got into business with this big distributor back east, and we were redistributing retail toothpaste, and we, like, one of the guys who was acting as a broker in the deal ended up stealing like $70,000 or $80,000
of toothpaste.
Well, cash. Remember, the company sent us. That's right. Company sent us the check, and we were supposed to basically give that money to the vendor for the purchase, and he ran away.
Right.
And then we got stuck. We got stuck, and they threatened to do the same thing. I mean, that company is $1 billion company.
They're huge,
There's
bro.
100 lawyers that work for that company.
Yeah.
And mom, same thing. Had to strike a deal with the owner and try to figure out a way.
And I remember the way that we did it was my mom said, look, we have the resource to move it, send it over, and we will that whatever profit we make, we'll pay you. We'll just keep paying you down. They were like, cool.
Yeah.
And that's how we paid it off.
Yeah.
Bro.
So and it got to a point where we got close, and mom had built a relationship with them where they just trusted her. I think they just wrote off the rest of it as just bad debt. I mean, they were really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's just another story.
That's it. Just there's
way more.
There's way more.
It just keeps going and going and going. Yeah. So I think what really, you know, after spinning our wheels for those many years, what really changed and I think got us over the hump. I mean, me going to school, you taking over finance and operations.
Yeah, there's a combination.
Right? So there was a combination, obviously, of us, we were
we were in the right spots.
Yes.
Right. Like,
hungry
in the right spots.
But what helped us was us finally realizing that we had a brand Young Nails. Then,
Totally.
Hiring that marketing company.
2006,
and then
bro.
when we started doing those ads of us jumping and like, that was game changing, dude. That was what literally was like, who are these guys?
Yeah, it got us a lot of attention.
So that when we started advertising the magazines and then going to trade shows, people would be like, "Oh, you guys are those guys that are doing all those crazy moves."
Yes,
and
bro.
it had nothing to do with the product.
Nope. It was branding.
Yeah, it was like, we were the brothers that stood behind the brand, and the way we acted and the way we communicated sparked interest.
Completely. And that was the sort of the real beginning. Yeah.
And that's when it started to attract attention.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
that when we go to trade shows, we could act the way we did. I could do my thing on stage. Yep. We could do his thing when it came to talking about business, and that was the beginning of our slow but steady trajectory.
Yeah. Moral of the story is, no matter what, like anybody you're starting a business, it is just hard.
It's hard.
It's and you're gonna take punches and punches and punches. I mean, bro, we didn't take punches, bro. We're on the ground getting kicked. What we were.
We were being tortured.
We were being tortured, bro. It was torture, dude. It was.
Yeah, I think, looking back, I don't know if there was, I'm so happy that in my 20s I was as hungry as I was.
Yeah.
I think that all the abuse we took and the punches we took, it was one of those things where we're just kind of like, oh, well, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
just got to keep going.
We're young and we're ambitious.
Yeah.
And we can get up and we can keep on going. For those of you guys that are going through the same experience, you might be thinking, well, I'm a lot older. My mom was 49 years old when she started a company.
Crazy,
so
bro.
She was doing this at a lot older. And she was the one that was kind of the glue that was holding
100%.
The fabric together. If it wasn't for her mentality and her will to...
There's no chance we would have stayed in it, bro.
There's none, because I was going crazy. You were going crazy. And her mentality was like, don't worry. We'll figure it out.
I do worry. What are you talking... Bro, all the arguments and
don't
just
worry,
crazy.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And ultimately... we figured it out.
Look, I'm sure you guys hear it from a lot of people, but learning to embrace the suck is like a really important.
You have to.
You have to embrace frustration. You have to be able to embrace those tough moments because they will make you stronger and better. And if you're doing, again, I know people say this all the time, it's kind of cliche, you got to do what you love, dude.
It's true though, man.
But it is true. Like if you have whatever that is, like even when you're doing something you love, there's going to be moments where it's horrible.
100%. It's just when you're doing something you actually enjoy doing, then it's you will get through the rough times. Right. You have a better chance of getting through the rough times. But either way, it's gnarly.
It's not all friggin' easy.
Unicorns and rainbows. It is not. So
I'm trying to think. I'm all fluffies and it's not
and dot confetti hair things. It's like, whoa, bro. Right on, dude. Thank you for stories, bro. Awesome episodes.
Appreciate you. Love you, brother.
Subscribe channel now. Subscribe channel now. Subscribe channel